is there'll be elements of the old which that you want to keep in the new or rework in a slightly different way, so that the magazine is new and fresh but is still reassuringly familiar. Because you can't chuck overboard everything that you did before, because it'll feel too alien to readers. So you need to rework elements. At the same time, if you do very little but change the fonts, you don't bring any new ideas in, and people won't even notice your redesign. There'll essentially be no point doing it. So you have to be radical. And you have to bring in a lot of new ideas, but retain some totems of its previous history. And again, we didn't want people to. We wanted to hit people in the face with the main hit on the cover, the main game. If it's good enough to go on GamesMaster's cover, it's something worth shouting about. So we use these fluoro colours, the bright oranges, to draw attention. Made the font absolutely massive. Used this outline device which had been developed inside the magazine as another way of giving GamesMaster a lot of character and its own personality, a personality which is pretty fun. And then it's a question of, after that, giving people an impression of the other contents of the magazine, but putting them in places where you can easily read them, but they don't interfere with the main things that you want to communicate.
And it's interesting that whilst in the spread that you showed us, it had become kind of simplified, and on the cover you've managed to, in a way that's not kind of at all messy, you've crammed in a lot more info. There's actually more hits on the redesign cover than there was on the previous cover. That's obviously a conscious decision.
That's absolutely the skill of it, because on the cover you don't know what it is on your front cover that is going to hook a reader, but you have to spread your net far and wide, and you have to get as many things on there to attract as many different potential readers as you possibly can. But you take that too far and you end up with a complete dog's dinner that no one will even pick up or look at, because it just looks so awful. So it is absolutely about as cramming as much stuff as you can without overwhelming the reader, without overloading that page, and you kind of got to know the limits, but through skillful typography, and this is entirely down to the designers. They can find those spaces, or they can tweak the hierarchy of the hits, so that you'll see that first, and then you'll go to that one, and that one perhaps. These two are roughly the same size, but the way this switches between the white text on black and the black text on white means that it's of a different quality to this, and so your eye doesn't kind of merge the two and confuse them in one big lump. You can quite easily distinguish the two of them and see them as two separate things. So you can go, all right, I'll read that one first, and then I'll go to that one. And it's the same here with the white text on the black background with the orange chevrons. If that looked too similar to the text above it, it would just merge. You'd just see a big wodge of text that you didn't want to bother unpicking. But as it is, it's the font changes and the devices used change so that you're seeing something different. You can read it as a list.
So, in just sort of moving away, just as a final kind of point, really, if you were advising people who are going to undertake a redesign, of how to approach it, do you have any sage words apart from "don't"? What would you advise people to do? Should they go about a redesign? Or what advice has steered you true in your course?
Research it as much as you can. Get market research on it if you can. Find out how the reader is. Talk to the team if you can. Talk to the readers. Get on the forums. Get on Facebook. Wherever they're lurking, find them and talk to them about what it is they like about the mag, what it is they don't, what it is they want to see, what it is they want more of. Plunder other mags, see what it is that its competitors are doing that it should be doing. Find competitors in completely unrelated markets and see what it is they're doing that are great ideas that you can borrow, put in a new environment and make something completely fresh out of. When you come up with something, show it to people and get their feedback, because it's that process of collaboration with others that'll make your work that much better. And sure, others can also dilute the vision, and you have to be strong enough to resist that, but often people will just come up with brilliant suggestions, and often quite small ones that will just be the icing on the cake, the little cherry on top that you really needed to take that work from good to great. I think as well, if you're doing a magazine about something which will really make it different from other magazines, that will give it its own true identity, something which it can really call its own. One of the famous example is the Empire interview, how much is a pint of milk, and that's what they'll go and interview some movie star and ask them how much is a pint of milk as part of the interview, and the idea is that the high-flying movie star has no idea how much a pint of milk is, but it's just something which is uniquely Empire, and that no one else has and no one else could take, because if they did, it would just be so blatantly obvious. But it reminds you why Empire is different from the rest. So if you can kind of come up, you only need one, but if you can come up with one idea which just puts a unique stamp, a unique branding on that magazine, you'll make it stand out head and shoulders from the rest, and that's very hard to do in the magazine market, where things change very fast, and magazines are all too likely to be able to take ideas from each other and copy each other.